What's going on, everybody? This is your boy Keone from On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, joined by none other than the three-man band, the three-man booth. The group is back. Vacation is over. Christmas is done. New Year's is here. Joel and Lewis, what's up, fellas?
What's up, everybody? Happy New Year. Happy 2025. We all hope that you had a wonderful holiday and an even better start to the new year because it's off to an eventful start. And On the Mark is rocking and rolling. We want to give a special shout out to all of our social media followers, TikTok and Instagram combined. Clap it up. Yes, we appreciate all the support. We are on the brink of 500 followers on IG. We've exceeded 600 followers on TikTok. So we just appreciate the love. And 2025 is going to be epic.
Epic. How about you, Joe? How you doing, man?
Yeah, man. Happy holidays, fellas. We're back. We did it all. We came through. We coming through strong this year, 2025.
Yes,
Just
sir.
like wrestling. Wrestling started off hot this year. We starting off hot too. Let's get it.
Yes, sir. Now, listen, man. This takes us into this, like the fella said, 2025 is starting off with a bang. We had some huge, pretty big streaming news, right? You had AEW simulcasting on both TBS, TNT, Max.
Mm-hmm.
They were doing their thing, and WWE's Raw now on Netflix. But we're going to jump all into that. But before we do, Lewis, you got the first administrator's report of 2025, my brother.
Yes,
what we got?
All right, this is the administrator's report. So it's been a while since I've done one of these, between the holidays and AEW and WWE transitioning into simulcasting and streaming and all of that. The administrator's report is gonna have a different feel to it from now on because I'm not necessarily gonna be breaking down or really critiquing TV viewership too much because we started off the year with AEW on January 1st. They did their first ever simulcast of Dynamite on Max and TBS. And then, of course, what's been the talk of the wrestling universe, the pop culture universe, is the Netflix premiere of Monday Night Raw, which was this week. Some interesting data we got here. And all I can say is I'm very eager to see how this plays out over the course of the year because the measurements, I guess I want to use the word metrics, is going to be different. So with Raw being broadcast on streaming first time ever, I'm reading this article, right? Viewership reached 664,000 U.S. households during the live presentation. But that was actually down 12% from the 752,000 households that watched Raw to kick off 2024 a year ago. So, I don't know. It's kind of weird, right? Because you would think that there would be an uptick. However, a year ago, you didn't have the Netflix. So there's always going to be that little disparity. Who's watching on the USA Network versus who's watching on Netflix. But the biggest draw in terms of demographics seems Hispanic households. Shout out to my Latino WWE fans.
Hispanics. There we go. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, listen, a lot of us live in the hood. So it's very easy to just borrow someone's Netflix password, right? You borrow your mom's, your cousin, your nephew, your neighbors, 100%. All of that. So yeah. So this is the first time the WWE was streaming at the same time for a much more global audience because USA cable television, you might have other countries that are watching it, but there's different time zones and all that stuff. But when you're streaming, you know what I mean? And Netflix is the biggest streaming platform in the world.
Oh yeah.
So it's gonna be very interesting to see how this plays out for the year. I wanna really dive in going forward into like how they're measuring it. Like, are they streaming it by quarter hour like they would do? Like, are they measuring it by quarter hour like how they would do with traditional cable
Mm-hmm.
television? All of that stuff.
I never
So
knew how they do that with streaming.
and then and another thing, not everybody's watching the feed at the same exact moment, because I
Yeah,
even had to
exactly.
pause for like 20 minutes and then get back on it. So how
Mhm.
does that affect the streams?
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that's those are the numbers for Raw's Netflix premiere as far as how many households they reach. I'd be very curious to see how many of those were new fans.
Right. That's the thing. Like, how many of those were new fans? I'm not crazy impressed with those numbers, though. When I saw them, I was like, oh,
Right.
this is not what I was expecting for this
Yeah.
hype, the money spent, the stars who they probably paid to show up there. They had Kieran Culkin there, who just won a Golden Globe the night before.
Yep.
He was there. Macaulay was there. I
Mhm.
mean, listen, listen. It was a big show, but the numbers did not reflect that. Now, again, Lewis, you brought up something very interesting. We got to see how they actually measure these numbers. Like,
Yeah.
how are they doing this? Is it by minute? Is it by hour? Is it by, I don't know. I don't know how streaming
By
works. So
plays,
by
right?
plays, right? Like, do I simply just hit play and that counts as
Yeah.
I don't know, but we'll see. That's just not, to me. That's, I thought it would be more, but again, I think there's a lot of things working here that we just don't know. Joe, what do you think, man?
Yeah, it's interesting because like I wonder like going forward how they're gonna measure success, right? Like, is it gonna be just because of the live viewership as it's going, or are they gonna measure more like the week to week numbers? Because I'm sure
Right.
there's people that are gonna watch it throughout the week. Not
Yeah.
everybody has 3 hours to give up on a Monday.
That's
You
true.
might watch 1 hour a Monday, 1 hour two. That's the beauty of the streaming era, right? Like
Yeah.
we could kind of split it up and not have to sit there for 3 hours
Mm-hmm.
those days where those episodes are gonna be those long slog episodes. You might not. You might want to give up on it. I'll wait till I could fast forward this part.
Yeah, man.
but so I do wonder how they're gonna measure that success. I mean, they spent a lot of money. Netflix spent a lot of money, $5 billion, I think it is.
5 bill, the
That's
5 bill with
Five
a B.
lot of
billion.
money, man. That's a lot of money. But if you're
That
getting, I
is.
guess, if you're getting a consistent 600, 700K a week, that might be really worth it for them. We don't really know.
That's true.
So
That's true,
it's
right? And
interesting.
I am curious to see how many of those eyeballs are new. Like, are they
Yeah, for
new?
sure.
Are they new fans? Are they returning fans that gave up cable and maybe just only had Netflix? There's a
Yeah.
lot of
Yeah.
variables here but I believe that number will go up
Yeah.
as we get deeper into the Netflix era and WWE. But Lewis, thank you for the administrative support, my friend. Very informative, very informative. But now I wanted to let's get into Raw's and Netflix's premiere. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of
Oh yeah.
this. Um,
We got a lot of thoughts, just like
there's a
everybody else on the
lot.
internet.
There's a lot of thoughts on this show. Listen. We'll be probably one of the last people commenting on this in terms of podcast and whatnot. But we had a very interesting interesting show.
Hmm.
I would say that it was good. Uh like it was a good show. I would not say,
What would you grade it?
I grade it a solid B. I give it a B. I was teetering on C plus B. But I'm giving it a B because it's
Hmm.
more so of the presentation and production,
Yeah.
right? That was by far one of the
Yeah.
best produced wrestling shows
Yeah.
in an arena on Netflix. It was just great. It was great. From the drone to the different angles to the lighting to the Intuit arena
That thing
is
is
dope as
crazy.
hell.
Yeah,
Number
it's
one,
crazy.
right? The screen is Jerry World written all over it.
Yeah.
They got the LEDs within the
The seats.
seats.
Yeah.
that just adds to the experience. And then add that to WWE's production.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're talking, it was amazing.
Yeah.
In terms of the show as a whole, the matches were just okay. I was expecting a lot more, fellas. I don't know about you, but I was expecting like a Becky Lynch sighting. I was expecting a Charlotte song to play. I was expecting maybe too much. I was expecting The Rock to do some damage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We got corporate Rock thanking everybody, the Netflix executives kissing his kids, saying what up to Cody as if he didn't beat the shit out of Cody last year. Like, I just that for me was a little disjointed. There's a lot. I mean, guys, we could spend the whole show on just Raw because there's a lot to unpack here from the Cody stuff alone, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got your biggest baby face in the company sitting in the audience, being congratulated or cheers to by the guy who beat you up, gave you some stupid gift, whispered something in your ear, almost took your damn spot at WrestleMania. And then now we're boys. Like now we're just cool. Now we're just supposed to pretend everything is just all right. So that threw me off a little bit. The show, again, I'm going off production, and the reason why this is getting a B for me is because of production and everything like that. Like it was outstanding. It was produced like big time. It was big time.
Yeah.
No one does live production anything like the World Wrestling Entertainment. Not NFL, not NBA, not UFC. No one.
Not the World Wrestling Federation.
Not the World Wrestling Federation, brother. Yeah, none of that. Right? So I give it a B, man. It was cool, but you guys will elaborate on some other shit I didn't get to. Joe, what did you think? I know, this isn't going to be your haters comment, is it? Because, you were saving that for a little later.
I mean, it might come off as hate, but
it might. Okay.
I would give it like a solid C plus.
Okay. C+. Yeah, we're around the same. Okay.
Yeah, not a B. You almost convinced me to a B. I'm listening to you. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe let me. But nah, it seemed to me like it wasn't for the hardcore fans, obviously, and we knew that wasn't going to be the case. But then it also seemed like it wasn't really for the casual fans either, because to me it kind of seemed like it was for corporate. Like they were trying to please the board members or something, like
exactly,
or please the Netflix execs, like The Rock going out. Like honestly, the show started off with a bang with the promo package showing the history of WWE. I thought that was incredible. I thought that was a great way to bring in new fans. You know, if it's my first time watching this, you're showing me the whole history, why this is important to all of us. Triple H comes out. Well, Triple H gets revealed by the awesome giant curtain thing.
Yeah, that was awesome.
He has his whole, are you ready? I thought that was the perfect opening. Yeah. And then just to have The Rock come in and kind of just shit all over that and like completely break kayfabe, break everything, just make it the Dwayne Johnson show.
The Dwayne Johnson.
And he literally like, and like part of me, I'm like, I'm trying to like, maybe I'm grasping at straws, and I'm like, maybe this is part of the story, maybe he's being like a meta heel, like he's getting us to boo him even though we wanted him there in a way, right? Because now he's breaking kayfabe, he's doing whatever he wants, he's the final boss, he does whatever he wants, right? So I'm like, is this part of it? Is it gonna lead back to him and Cody maybe eventually somehow? Cody's that naive baby face all of a sudden being like, oh yeah, maybe we're cool. Like, bro, he literally said, tell your mom I said what up.
Yeah, man.
And he laughed.
Tell Mama Rhodes I said what's up.
And your this is your main champion. Like you said, you have your main champion in the audience. I think it could have, this segment was whatever. It's like, okay, I get it. This is him trying to please the execs, whatever. It would have been perfect if you just would have called. He could have called out Cody, let Cody get the big entrance, get the big whoa. He didn't even get the big whoa.
He didn't even get the whoa. He just had to run it
in the Intuit Arena. That shit would have been crazy. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's true.
Let him come out, and then you do the whole little spiel. Hey, man, you held it down this year. Thank you for that. Whatever. Make it seem like this is still part of the story instead of just completely being like, screw the story. Today's a celebration for WWE, which I get. You could tell that this was a celebration for the company. You had a bunch of the wrestlers in the audience dressed up to the nines like it was the Hall of Fame. Like, this was definitely a party.
Yeah.
It was a party for them backstage. I'm sure it was awesome. All the celebrities going in and out of backstage was probably crazy, mad fun. But it doesn't translate well to good TV to me. And I think that was a misstep on their hands. The wrestling was okay. Drew McIntyre and Jey Uso put on an okay match. Match of the night to me was Rhea and Liv Morgan. I thought they put on a really good match, and we got a new champion there. That was cool. Weird Undertaker coming out and just like kind of riding around the ring and giving Rhea the rub, I guess. But that was a little weird. The CM Punk and Seth Rollins match was really good as well.
Yeah, that was good.
It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but I think that's the best we're going to get out of a 40-something-year-old CM Punk now, you know?
Yeah, that Punk match did not do it for me, guys. I'm sorry. That match further solidified to me that Punk is an old ass man. He's done. Like he just doesn't look good. Like he's not crisp with any moves. Everything seems sort of the only thing he can really do is sort of tell the story emotionally, physically, with his body, his facial expression, stuff like that. But in terms of like being like convincing wrestling wise that he should have beaten Seth Rollins, I'm sorry. It did not. No, it didn't do anything for me. And that was one of the most, that was disappointing for me watching that match, is that I thought like we were gonna. I know Punk is in his mid to late 40s. I get it, right? But he just looks like he could barely even get people up to do this finisher, and it just, I don't know, man. Lewis, what do you think, man? I know what you think.
Yeah, I know, right? I had to get a little pause there for a second. So letter grade, I'm sticking with a B.
Okay.
/ B plus. Now I know what you're thinking. That's a little bit on the high end.
You graded him on a curve or something? Like, what do you...
Right? I know you're gonna be asking me for a rubric.
Yeah, exactly.
No, here's the thing. For a Monday night episode of wrestling, sports entertainment, I thought it was phenomenally produced. It was perhaps the best produced iteration of a weekly wrestling show I've ever seen. The aesthetics of how it came across arena wise, the quality of the camera during the vignettes, the promos, the crowd was hot, obviously. The graphics. I don't really care for the new theme song, but still, everything felt so well produced. Like if I would have tuned into that, I would have thought that it was a Saturday night.
Right.
If you just threw me in the if you just threw it on the TV on a Saturday, I would be like, oh, there's a wrestling pay-per-view on, or a PLE. That's how big it felt. Yeah. And I think that for me, sometimes is just enough for me to be like, okay, this is solid. Now the wrestling, there was nothing phenomenal about the wrestling aspect of it. The matches were pretty good to decent. The main event was solid. It was what it was. I don't really think, at the end of the day, what it is that it is still WWE. So in terms of match quality, you're always going to get like those overly choreographed moments in certain matches. You're going to have the shenanigans, the run-ins, because they're appealing to a more general audience. And especially if they're trying to bring in new viewers, you're not going to get the stuff that you see in AEW for the quote-unquote sickos. And I'm getting really tired of that fucking expression. But that's a different topic. But if I were to take, I think what would have made this an A show is if you would have taken the presentation of Raw on Netflix and fused it with what we saw on Dynamite for, say, the Christmas on 34th Street, or the Dynamite on 34th Street episode, which was very good. You take those two, you got an A+ show, hands down. You take the presentation of WWE, and then you take the match quality of AEW, you fuse those, perfect. So yeah, I would say a B+. Now I'm a comment on that CM Punk shit. I liked the main event. I did. However, Punk is looking old, man. He's looking old, brother. And we're gonna get to that other brother pretty soon. But Punk is physically he looks good physically, right? But I think in ring wise, his performance nowadays leaves much to be desired. And it was like Seth Rollins was somewhat carrying that match.
100%.
I got I got a feeling where I'm looking at these two, and because I know who they are, I kind of dismiss certain things. But if I'm looking at this as a new fan or a casual fan, I'm gonna say to myself, how can Punk keep up with someone who's a decade younger than him, a decade faster than him, and on paper a decade stronger than him? But you mean to tell me that he got the pin and his offense wasn't really explosive or anything like that? So that was the issue that I had with that. It just didn't come across very believable that CM Punk can even beat Seth Rollins.
Yeah.
So I think I think Punk is winning the 2025 Royal Rumble match.
Wow. Big take.
And I don't like
big
it.
Take.
No me gusta.
Big take. And Lewis, now that you said that, I'm gonna back that. I'm gonna second that. I have a feeling we everything. I think what we saw last night or Monday with Punk being the main event and ending the show with him on screen and being the guy is a red herring possibly to the fact that he will be the Royal Rumble winner. It's either going to be, it's going to come to me. And Joel, we talked about this on and you made a good point. I still think, I don't know. I still think we may see like a Cena Punk final 2. Yeah. Right. Ugh. And listen, I'm not excited about that either.
We're going back 10 years, baby.
We're going back 10 years. Exactly. They took us back 10 years.
Cena, Rock, and Punk. Let's just run it all back over again. The same angle. Run it over.
They took us back 10 years.
The triple threat match that we should have gotten in 2013.
Exactly. But I don't know, man. I think Lewis is right. I think we see a Punk Rumble win. But I don't know, guys. There's nobody. I don't know.
I think. Look, I'm sorry to cut you off, but there is nobody else that makes sense right now. Maybe a month ago, I would have said, well, I did say, oh man, this is really unpredictable. Like, I can't call it, because we talked about this on the podcast a few weeks back, where like if we're making early Royal Rumble predictions, and mind you, this is like early December, late November, we were like, oh, I really don't know. It could be Punk, could be Reigns, could be whoever. But now I think it's pretty clear that Punk is the guy that they're setting up to have a Cinderella Man story.
Yeah.
That's what it is. He comes back after all these years. He's older, but he can still, go in a sense. And yeah, he's gonna redeem himself, and this is his story, right? Yeah. Of main eventing WrestleMania, because that's always been a dream of his. That's what he came back to the WWE for. So it just wouldn't make sense to have anybody. I'm not a fan of it per se, but it just doesn't. It's the right booking for story purposes.
I hear you. How about you, Joe? What were you gonna say?
Yeah, I mean, you're starting to convince me. Sadly, you are starting to convince me. I'm like, damn, because I don't want to see it either. I think I'm still gonna pick Cena winning the Royal Rumble though, just because I think you do Cena Cody one night, and then I think you do Roman Punk the other night as your main event.
Guys, I'm not closing the door on The Rock though yet. I'm not.
I think the door is closed.
Me neither.
I'm not closing. Dwayne said something last night on NXT. He was like, "You guys, Cody crybabies, just follow just roll with it. Just let me do my thing," kind of thing.
I don't think that's happening at Mania though, because you got to think we have 2 nights of SummerSlam to sell too.
Oh.
And that crossed my mind too. That did.
And SummerSlam is in New York, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
thing. That's gonna be a huge show. I think what
I think what
we're gonna
end up be in attendance.
Oh man,
nobody's gonna be able to afford the tickets.
They priced us out, bro. They
But
priced
I
us
think
out.
you made a good point, Coyote, about that show ending with CM Punk. But the show started with Roman Reigns winning the Ulafala. And if anything, when you pay attention to WWE, they kind of tell you the direction they're going in. So the fact that The Rock won the Ulafala, there's nothing else for him to do now. But besides get that championship. But what if that favor that CM Punk asked Heyman for is a main event match against Roman Reigns? I think that's you don't need a title. It could just be a straight up. You could even have Punk come close in the Royal Rumble so that he's like, oh man, that was my chance to main event. But I do have this one thing in my pocket that I could ask Paul Heyman for. I want this marquee match that no matter what, Triple H has to make the main event. You can't put Roman and Punk on the mid card. That's a main event match.
Well, I agree with you. Damn.
You can make it a mid card, upper mid card match.
Roman ain't doing that.
Oh, Roman ain't doing it. There's no way Roman's doing it.
Not if the final boss has something to say about it.
That's true. That's true.
I'm just saying, bro. Because look, Dwayne is a funny guy these days. This is a guy that like he could literally walk on water. Like he came out 2 nights in a row and said a whole bunch of nothing. and still got the fucking crowd going. You know,
man. I watched all of NXT for that. That's legit. Like, and NXT was a good show. Don't get me wrong. I enjoy it. I enjoy NXT. But I was hoping we were going to get some closure on what the hell him and Cody were sharing shots of Terramana was. Like, I mean, what are you guys talking about? Like, you guys are boys now? Like, if I was Cody, I'm like, yo, H, I don't want to do this. We got to continue with what we finished off with. It doesn't make any sense storyline wise. Like, now we're cheersing. I look stupid. Like, I look stupid. I don't know. But
he's got. I think The Rock has something up his sleeve.
That's what I think.
I don't think that. Sure, he was already in LA because of the Golden Globes. Blah 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 blah. But I don't think WWE is going to be wasting TV time like that without rhyme or reason. You know what I'm saying? First of all, they don't have TV time to waste. Yes, Raw is 3 hours now, but NXT is only 2. Yeah. So you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to tell me you gave him a 15-minute segment on NXT just to say hello?
Exactly.
I mean,
nah.
I
don't know, bro.
I think they did.
But that's what they want you. That's what they want us to believe. That's what they want us to believe.
Now we're doing the whole, is this a meta? But I think it could be both. It could be, hey, The Rock's gonna pop a rating. The Rock, CW Network's gonna be happy with The Rock talking, even though he was cursing up a storm. But funny enough,
Christ, that's true.
Funny enough, CW ended up posting the whole uncensored promo on their YouTube page. So I'm guessing
really?
they were happy, even though he was cursing up a storm anyway. Straight up uncensored, all the F-bombs, everything on their YouTube page. So
man, damn.
So they were happy with it. So I think it's both though. Like you said, The Rock is not a stupid person. He understands his business. He's been in this business his whole life. He's a promoter at the end of the day. He promotes himself all day. He promotes his tequila. He knows what he's doing. So I think what they could do, they could always do, and I think that's part of the reason of him kind of being buddy with Cody. He could always just be like, "You're an idiot, Cody. Why would you believe me?" and then we're back. We're back on the road to WrestleMania.
That's what I'm saying. Like he could say, like, I just played you like the sucker you are, and
he little bro.
And I played your mother too.
Exactly.
It's just, you know.
Exactly.
Man.
I think it might. You might be right. You might be right because I was looking at the IG live of them taking the tequila shots together, and Cody was looking at him like he didn't trust him, and I'm like, are they playing? Is this kayfabe? Like, what's going on? Maybe this is the new era, right? This is a Netflix era.
The Netflix era. I don't know, man. I feel I feel we gonna run that Cody thing back. That was just too good to not do. Like I said to you guys, I said there's 2 matches, mega money matches for Dwayne to do. Money matches. Rock and Cody and Rock and Roman. Yeah. After those 2, I don't give a damn what he does. He could play around and deal with CM Punk or whatever if he wants to do that, which I doubt, but if he wants to, he could. But those 2 matches right there need to happen.
Yeah. That's money.
Need to happen. Big time. But overall, guys, I think we're on the same page with Netflix and Raw. I think it was a good Raw. I think we all said it was okay for the most part. More so for me on the production side, where I gave it the high letter grade. But again, the stories were cool and whatever. And I think the Liv Morgan and Rhea match was solid.
Yeah.
Morgan doesn't need the belt. She held that belt and did a damn good job with it. I got to give her props because I think Liv Morgan saved her career with this whole storyline. To tell you the truth, I think it helped big time keep her relevant, keep her in that whole like title picture run, and she did a really good job on it. I got to give it to her. So I think that match was pretty good. But yeah, overall the show was cool. It was cool to see the star power, but I really at some point I really started not to care. And I will tell you this, guys. I'm sorry. I'm not a fan of Travis Scott. I hate these new age rappers.
I think this might be the hater club segment. I
don't want to get into it yet, but I can't stand him. I tried to get into his music. The music is I got. There's a couple of songs I can listen to, but him as a person overall, I just think he's obnoxious. I don't think he even knows where he is half the time. I think he doesn't understand professional wrestling. I don't think he understands what he's doing in the ring or when he's accompanying Jey Uso to the ring, what his role is. Him smoking a blunt on TV just kind of rubbed me the wrong way, even though it's legal. I didn't like it. I didn't like anything about that presentation. I don't know. Man. I'm sorry. I didn't like anything about it. I thought it was trash. I thought it was a waste of time. I thought I just hate these. I hate these young new age rappers, yo. I just hate them. I don't like them. I can't get with them. I'm sorry. I can't.
Hear you, man. I used to be into Travis Scott years ago when I first moved here because he's from here, Missouri City. The high school that he went to is the high school that we're zoned to. So that'll be Tate's high school. But I used to be into his music, but then it's kind of like you go through a phase where you like something and then you outgrow it. Yeah. So that's where I'm at with Travis Scott. Like as a performer, as an entertainer, I don't care for him at all anymore. So that's where I'm at.
I get, listen, man. Joe, are you a fan still, man? Or you still?
Nah, like Lou, I was a fan at one point. Not, I wouldn't even say a fan. Like I listened to some of his albums and songs back in the day, but it's whatever music, It's like nothing I would like, sit down and like really listen to.
Exactly.
There's not much to dissect.
Exactly.
not much to dissect. But we got to dissect the Hogan of it all. Fellas, on Monday night, we probably saw the last of your boy Hulk Hogan. This gentleman here, right here.
Damn, US Weekly got it.
US Weekly got it. It was
crazy.
It was all over the place,
guys. It was everywhere. Like on IG. Hart, the Shade Room was posting Hogan. Like
the Shade Room.
What on earth, bro? Like Hogan went viral for all the wrong reasons this week.
All the wrong reasons, man. All the wrong reasons.
It was like an unintended heel turn.
It was.
I mean, he's been a heel for a while in my book. So
yeah, I know.
So your boy Hulk Hogan, accompanied by the great Jimmy Hart, who, I mean, just too bad for Jimmy, just being in the wrong place at the wrong time. Wrong place at the wrong time.
He caught a stray, man.
Caught a stray, man. This poor Jimmy Hart. Hogan comes out limping, looking fragile, old, decrepit. Hogan looked like pure garbage. It was so sad to see. It broke my heart. It broke my heart a little bit. Like I felt bad. For the guy. I was like, damn, you look. He couldn't even make it to the ring. He was like, yo, I'm just gonna be right here. I'm gonna stand right here. And while he was there, he's promoting his Great American Beer or whatever. Thank you, brothers and sisters, for being on the Hulkamania side and barely ripping his shirt.
He was struggling. He was shaking.
His carpal tunnel won't allow him to rip the shirt, and it was just tragic night for the legend of Hulk Hogan, and he got booed for a lot of reasons. A, because of his ridiculous racist comments,
Yes.
and B, his obscene love and support for the incoming president, which is to each his own. But I think it was the way he did it.
Exactly.
Some of his comments were just ridiculous. Like if he was the Undertaker and he just had his views, he probably wouldn't have gotten booed. But if he didn't do the whole Kamala Indian thing and all this stuff, you made yourself look like a clown. So he came out to a Los Angeles crowd that couldn't wait to boo him. And he got his ass whooped with a belt, like a straight leather belt, like just whoop. No one listened to anything he said. No one heard anything he said. And I think this might be the last time we see him on TV. I know WWE and they have a partnership with the beer, but as far as being on TV, I don't know, brother. I don't know. What were you guys' thoughts on the great Hulk Hogan coming out there?
This is a classic example. This is the embodiment of how the mighty have fallen. Like this is what you would associate with those kinds of terms, like the camel that broke the straw that broke the camel's back, the nail in the final nail in the coffin. Like Hulk Hogan in LA, Netflix Raw premiere, that embodies all of that. I have not cared about Hulk Hogan in a long time. So like this did, like I hear his music and I'm like, oh shit. Like the first thing I said to myself was, I want to see what the reception is going to be like, because his last couple of appearances, the reaction was decent. So that was the first thing I said to myself. But then once I started hearing the boos, I'm cracking up, because he's really trying to cut a promo here, like a classic Hulk Hogan promo. The fans are, the funniest thing is post Raw, when you see all the social media stuff, right? The funniest part of this is the vantage points of different fans who were in attendance when they recorded their footage and uploaded it. Because you can clearly hear like the arena is not having it. So I'm like, okay, so because this is the way it came across on TV or on my device or whatever. That was funny. Like, because no matter what section you saw the camera angle from, you just heard the massive boos. Like nothing that was piped in, nothing. But I gotta say, man, Hogan is done. Okay, he's done. He's doing this fucking dated shtick that he's been doing for decades now, and it does not work. Like, it is 2025. That real American bandana shit like doesn't work. No one is buying your beer. Actually, I'm gonna take that back, and I want you to post this clip. I am going to go on a quest and find myself a pack of real American beer.
Do a review on it. Post that.
I'm going to do a review on it, because
yes.
And if it tastes like shit, like I'm anticipating, I'm going to spit it out.
Do it on camera.
I'm going to do it on camera. Exactly. Because like I need to know, first of all, who's even selling this crap. And secondly, who's drinking this crap? Real American beer? Like, no. Here's the thing, man. A couple of things, and I'll pass it on to Joel. Hulk Hogan is 70-something years old, still thinking that this is Hulkamania during the golden age of the WWF. Absolutely not. You have done too many things that have not sat well with wrestling fans for a long time, especially those of color. I'm not even going to get into all of that, the specifics, but and then like just his behavior, it's a turnoff. And you try to separate the artist from the person. And Hogan is one of those unfortunate. It's unfortunate because he's the most recognizable name in the history of pro wrestling. I'll never take that away from him. He's the first figure that I was exposed to as a kid when it comes to wrestling. But it is not there anymore. The allure is not there anymore. now when you hear the name Hulk Hogan, it leaves a bad taste in my mouth. He is not Dwayne Johnson. You can say what you want about The Rock, but The Rock still has a cool factor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? The Rock can still sell, and he's successfully done so because he's a businessman and he knows things, right? But he can sell things like tequila, a skincare product like Papatui, an energy drink like Zoa, because he has that cool factor. What cool factor does Hulk Hogan have in 2025? Zero. Okay.
Man. Zero.
So I'm asking WWE to reconsider, because I know they have a partnership with Real American Beer, but I'm asking y'all to reconsider bringing this man out to a live crowd. He's going to show up on Saturday night's main event, most likely. Do it as a vignette, as a pre-taped, recorded promo, but do not bring this man out to waste people's time, whoever's in attendance and even us watching at home. That's it. Like, Hogan is done. Like, that's it.
Yeah.
I don't want to see him anymore. I don't care to see him anymore. There's nothing there. Like, he's not going to wrestle, right? So there's nothing there. There's absolutely nothing there.
Yeah. What you think, Joel?
I 100% agree with you, man. This was I would say it was sad, but I'm not sad about it. So it wasn't sad. It was just honestly it was what he deserved, and I'm proud of the fans for using their voice. Honestly, they used their voice. They made it well known that he's not wanted anymore.
And he's not wanted, man.
And like Lewis said, it's a tired, old. Like, we don't need the 80s. Eat your vitamins, say your prayers. Like, we are not in that era anymore. And it's funny because he was never on Raw. Like, he wasn't a Raw. Like, he was pre-Raw. Mm-hmm. He dates, like, his era was before Raw, so it didn't even make sense to bring him out there. It was very like, it's such a weird, like, this is the things that get me like a little annoyed with WWE, like, where they take this like weird, like, they don't care about anything that happens as long as they could get a reaction.
Exactly.
And it's like, yo, come on. Like, this guy is a racist on tape. on tape.
Legit.
Like,
right.
Like, it's not even, and it's horrendous shit he was saying. Like, we're not even going to go into that, but he was saying horrendous shit. And we're just supposed to be like, oh yeah, but he's Hulk Hogan. Like, no. Right. Like, and I'm glad the fans are like, fuck this guy. Like, hell no. And it's the perfect ending to his terrible career, in my opinion. Like, he had a great run in the 80s. Yes, no doubt that. But it's like you said, The Rock is Michael Jordan to WWE. I would say Hulk Hogan is maybe like Bill Russell or something like that. But Jesus. In a way that, like, Bill Russell, we love Bill Russell.
We love Bill Russell.
To this day. Yeah. But he's not going to get, rest in peace, I believe he's gone. But he wouldn't get a pop if you brought him out in front of a crowd of people who are LaMelo Ball fans, for example, right? This is a new era. Like, you're bringing out this guy who, and this is, Netflix is a millennial thing. We all grew up on this. We built this. People don't care about Hulk Hogan. And then especially when you think about the Vince McMahon documentary that just came out recently, and how they painted Hulk Hogan in that, how he stopped the boys back in the day from starting a union.
Hogan was a dirtbag, bro.
Yeah, and like, it was. I think that was a huge misstep right there, bringing him out there. I really don't understand how they thought that was going to go well. Like, come on. Like,
I don't know what Triple H has where he keeps thinking that bringing, and you're right, Joel, that's the one thing about WWE that just kills me, is that they keep doing things or wheeling out people to get a reaction or to boost numbers or to think that it would, without looking at the moral compass of a person.
Exactly.
Right? They're looking more at like, maybe he could boost sales, or maybe we can do a partnership because he's got a beer and we're on Netflix and it's cooler and there's young people here. Like, they're not thinking about like, hey, this guy, like you said, is a blatant racist. Like, he was saying some despicable stuff. Like, and we're going to just think that fans, especially the fans today, the smart marks out today, are just going to forget about all that. Like,
and then also it's like,
come on,
yeah, he's now doubling down on that. It seems like, right?
Yeah.
Like to call your beer real American beer. Like, come on, bro. We know what that is. That's a dog whistle right there.
Yeah.
You're doing the same thing that the that the president that's going to be elected soon is doing the same thing when he speaks and he talks about, make America great again. Like they're doing the same shit. And he's just trying to hide behind his whole little "I'm Hulk Hogan, love me." Like, nah, bro, we see you. Same thing. Like you mentioned, Undertaker might have similar views, but Undertaker is not out there promoting this shit.
Right.
He's just, I mean, he did have this guy on his podcast, but it's different when you are legit just doubling down on it. It seems like he got called out for being a racist. He tried to apologize, and now he's going the other way. And he's going to be like, you know what? I'm just going to double down on it because people don't like me on this side. Let me double down on this side. Like, I'm just like, we don't need this shit. We don't need this shit in wrestling at all.
I feel you.
We don't need it.
I mean, it's like you might as well just call your beer real white American beer. Exactly. Like it's just might well, just say it. I respect you more if you just told me it's real white American beer. I'd rather you just tell me that.
But gentlemen, I'm actually on the Real American Beer site.
Oh Lord!
And you gotta, when you get a chance, just peruse this site because this is just fucking white propaganda.
Is it now, Lewis? You got to tell us. You got to tell us if this beer is in your area.
Nope.
Or not. Really?
Nope. And you would think it's Texas, right? I put in my zip code and it's nowhere to be found.
Oh man,
we're gonna have to get it shipped to you. So
you might have to get, I gotta try this. Like I really. I'm
gonna have to get it shipped if I want to waste my money.
Yeah.
The sad thing is too. I read some of the press release about them partnering, WWE partnering with them, and I believe they're a minority owner now in Real American Beer. So this is not going away. It's going to be on the ring mat. It's going to be... Actually, fellas, we didn't talk about that. What do you guys think about the ring mat with all the ads on it now? We got Fortnite right in the middle. I was dying laughing when they first showed it. And Triple H is in the middle of the ring, and there's just Fortnite huge.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I was a little confused, but I'm not mad at it because
I like the color scheme.
I like
the
color
mat
scheme.
Is great. I love the black mat.
Yeah, SmackDown got the blue mat. Raw got the black, and then the refs got some new gear.
Yeah.
The flag on the mics are now round.
Yeah.
I like it. Listen, I like anything that shows that there is a different. This is different this time, right? Across all brands, like in SmackDown looks different than Raw. Raw looks different than SmackDown, and NXT has its own identity. I like the fact that there are 3 different identities on 3 different shows with 3 different types of wrestlers. And it is different. I'm digging it. But I like it. Listen, at the end of the day, WWE is a business. So if they're going to treat it like boxing or UFC, right? We're going to have some promotions everywhere, but we're going to continue as business as usual because at the end of the day, we try and get this money. So, so I ain't mad. I'm not mad at it. I don't mind it. It doesn't take anything away from it.
It definitely gives it like the boxing look, which is cool.
Yeah, definitely gives it a boxing look.
It is funny though when like CM Punk just gets like this huge victory and he's just like defeated a little bit, and you just see Fortnite right under.
The camera angle gets the Fortnite.
I'm like, yeah, this is so funny. Like it's gonna like the packages in the future are gonna be ruined because they're gonna have to like blur out stuff that they don't sponsor anymore. That's what I'm thinking.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. Yeah, man. Now, fellas, I found that the Max stream in terms of picture quality was better, and tonight with AEW, it was crystal clear. WWE's Raw, I gotta tell you, I tried on my Apple TV and my Fire Stick, and both looked very buffery. Like it was it was struggling to kind of get me the full clear picture. I don't know why, but I did find the stream, and I tried it again tonight on AEW's Dynamite. Was way better. It was crystal clear. I don't know about you guys, what you guys experienced.
Yeah, I had similar experience. The AEW stream is very crystal clear. Like it looks like an up in production, honestly, compared to
new cameras.
How it was on compared to how it was on TBS and TNT. It looks really crystal clear. I did the Netflix. It was pretty clear for me. The only time that I got some buffering was during the Rhea Ripley match for some reason.
Mm.
And I'm wondering if it's just, I'm guessing there's more eyes on Netflix, so that their servers are probably getting bogged down compared to Max.
Oh, yeah.
So that's probably what it is. But it's going to be interesting to see how it goes going forward for sure.
Yeah, man. How about you, Lewis? Do you have any issues?
No, I agree with the both of you. I think the Max picture-wise was a lot clearer, and it was smooth. I didn't really have many issues with Dynamite these last 2 weeks. Not to say that I had major issues with Netflix, but like you guys said, like there was some issues with the buffering here and there. Nothing that like took me out of it completely, but it is Netflix versus Max, right? So there's a lot more subscribers for Netflix all across the world, and Netflix just, I mean, it really only just recently started getting into the live sports, the live shows, if you will. So. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out because Max has already, I think they've already kind of mastered the live sports thing, you know, especially in the past year because with the NBA games, they had the baseball playoff games this past October. That was really crystal clear, smooth. So it'll be interesting to see the both shows on a week to week basis, like. Who's going to get more issues in the long run. We know Netflix is going to get more viewership, but just for like a viewing experience, like as you're watching it in real time, which one is actually smoother? True. That would be a good survey for wrestling podcasts to take.
Yeah, I'll probably throw that up there. But yeah, man. Now I wanted to leave this last part for our boy Joel, Streaming Joe. Do you have any haters or anything in your heart that you need to get off your chest right now in terms of hate, my brother?
Everything.
It might be a controversial one, but I got a little bit of hate, and it's gonna go towards the boy that everyone loves right now, Paul Levesque.
Ooh.
A little bit of hate for Paul Levesque, and here's why.
Wow.
Damn.
Here's why.
That hurts. That one actually hurts.
It might not even be him. Maybe it wasn't him. Maybe there was the powers to be that made him do this. But I'm a little upset on the fact that he didn't let younger wrestlers shine on this first episode of Netflix. You didn't let.
I agree. 100%.
You didn't have Bron Breakker, who's a machine who would catch the eye of a casual person. You put Bron Breakker in the ring, have him do the crazy 23-mile-per-hour run that he does. Yeah. I'm watching next week if I see that guy. You don't have Io Sky, the master of the skies. You don't have her doing some crazy moonsaults. She doesn't even have to have a match. Just have her run in, jump on somebody off the top rope, do something. You had no star. You didn't try to create any stars on this big show, and it kind of reminded me of a Vince McMahon episode of Raw. Ooh. And I'm sad to hear that. You trotted out John Cena there, which is great. You trotted out The Rock, trotted out Hulk Hogan, which we spoke about already, and it just really seemed like it wasn't the future, and that it made me a little sad and a little bit of hate towards Paul Levesque because he's been doing great, but this was his first misstep, in my opinion. This was his first big misstep when it came to giving shine to those newer stars that we've grown to love over the past couple of weeks of Monday Night Raw.
Damn, I agree with you. I feel the same way. All these stars, I mean, all these young guns you got within all three brands, or this new faces, or just like newer look or younger faces that you could have easily, put on your TV. You had them sitting in the audience rubbing elbows with Macaulay Culkin and Gabriel Iglesias and all this stuff, like
Vanessa Hudgens.
Like, I mean, my God, man. Like, you just had them sitting. Had them sitting there.
When
like,
you put it that way, that doesn't sound too bad. If I'm rubbing elbows with Vanessa Hudgens, I'm not mad.
I wouldn't be mad either.
Listen, I get it. I'm not mad. I'm not that mad. But I'm also thinking to myself, I could have I could have done a little something on this show. I could have,
Yeah.
it's a
It's
3-hour
weird
damn
'cause
show.
exactly. We had 3 hours. The past couple of weeks have been 2 hours, and they've been doing a really good job of jam packing those 2-hour shows with a lot of action.
Yeah.
Setting up their young guys. We had the whole Intercontinental Women's Championship tournament that gave a lot of like women that don't get a lot of time. They got a lot of time, and they got to put on some pretty good matches like Dakota Kai and
Yes.
Lyra Valkyria and all these people. So like it's weird that you built up all these people going into this Raw on Netflix debut, and then none of those people were on the actual show. It was like that's a little bit of a misstep to me. I understand that you want to get as much eyes as possible, but it's already going to get a lot of eyes. It's been having so much hype, so much promotion. We spoke about it on the last episode, I believe. Like the amount of promotion they put behind this episode of Raw on Netflix, it was everywhere. So why not give some shine to some of these newer guys? If it really reminded me of everything that CM Punk used to hate back in the day and what he said in that pipe bomb, and now he's the one taking that shine as well.
Yeah.
Old man. He's literally become who he's hated.
He's become who he's hated. You're right, man. Like it felt like a Vince booking.
And to that point, Joel, I was most disappointed by Bron Breakker, one of them, but the other is Gunther only had a vignette.
Your world champion.
He's your world heavyweight champion. Again, if I'm a casual viewer and I'm a new viewer, and I see that, the first thing I'm going to ask myself is, why isn't he wrestling? Like
2 world champions.
Right.
2 champions.
Like Cody didn't get an entrance. Just in the audience. Did he even have the belt with him? I don't even know if he had the belt with him.
I don't even think he had the title.
I don't think he had the title.
And I get that because long term, you don't want to give people the false pretense that Cody is going to be on Raw every week, right? But Gunther, come on, bro. He's the world heavyweight champion of that show. I feel like there was no excuse for him not to wrestle on that show.
You could have even just had him come out at the end of the Punk Rollins match. That would have been awesome. Have him come out, give him a stare down, something like that.
That was a miss to me. That was definitely a miss.
That was a big miss. Both of your champions look like second-rate citizens. Doesn't look good. Doesn't look good at all. Doesn't look good at all. It's not a good look. Especially like you said, Lewis, your champion on that specific show is doing a vignette. Come on, man. You got 3 hours, and plus, not only do you have 3 hours, you got 3 hours plus. You could have go on 15 minutes extra, like if you wanted to. No one's going anywhere. Those guys, the people in the arena ain't going nowhere, and everybody's locked in on Netflix. Yeah. Why didn't you just have your? I don't know. Yeah, that was a big misstep. And then Lewis, and Joel, I gotta tell you that's not a. I agree with you. H need to be sat down and be like, listen, man. I think we should do ABC.
Might be one of the only times he ever gets Hater Club of the Week because he's been killing it. He's been killing it.
He has.
Sometimes you gotta, take him out back and repreprimand him a little bit.
Yeah. Hold him accountable.
Hold him accountable.
I do think next week is gonna be more of a like our type of Raw. I think we're gonna get. I think they've been hinting very much so at the debut of Penta, which is going to be awesome.
Yeah.
That's
now if Penta shows up to WWE and becomes this megastar, is that a major indictment on AEW, or is that or does that show that WWE just is better at creating stars? Like, is it because people are saying, "Yo, Penta's going to show up and he's going to be big," and you could tell that WWE just by promotion and all these graphic vignettes that they're throwing up have major hope in the or plans for him. Do you think this makes this? Do you think like the same thing with Ethan Page, right? Ethan Page goes to NXT, becomes a star, actually like probably top 5 guys on the roster. Champion.
He got the Rock rub yesterday.
He got the Rock rub, and he proved to AEW like, yo, you missed out on something. Could this look really bad on AEW's or just? What do you think?
Nah. Look, people. I'm excited for Penta, but people need to also calm down a little bit because remember, Penta is someone who is a luchador that doesn't really speak English.
Yeah.
He's got the cool face paint, he's got the good look, but let's calm down here. I think the language barrier will ultimately hold him back from being what he really can be, unless they present him like a Shinsuke Nakamura and he's doing these vignettes with subtitles on them and then he's just dark and mysterious. That could be the presentation too. But I don't think that's an indictment on AEW because Penta was already a big international star, with the stuff that he was doing in Mexico, Lucha Underground, TNA, and even in AEW, like he was a pretty big deal in AEW. Him and Phoenix, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I don't think that would have anything to do with AEW. I would just think that he has the benefit of having the machine, a bigger machine behind him.
Right.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree 100%. I think that's the thing with WWE. They are automatically gonna make everyone seem bigger than they are just because they are bigger. So like Ethan Page is a perfect example. Ethan Page is a pretty good wrestler. He's not like a great wrestler. He's nothing special. He has a great like gimmick and I think he's a pretty good talker on the mic and all that. But he gets drowned out in a roster when you have a Kenny Omega, you have a Hangman Page, you have a John Moxley. And the same thing with Penta. Penta is great, but you're not gonna make him your star over the guys I just mentioned, Danielson, Omega, like Okada, like the AEW stacked. And same thing with WWE. So I think like what Lewis says, I think people need to chill a little bit. Penta's gonna be great in WWE. I hope he's great. Yeah. But I don't trust WWE to book a luchador good at all. The only luchador they ever been able to book good is Rey Mysterio. Yeah. So like let's calm down a little bit, but he'll be a great mid-card wrestler and hopefully he goes and breaks some arms, Lucha Underground style, and hopefully smartest thing to do with him is make him a villain right away. But we'll see what they do.
Yeah, that's gonna be what are they gonna do with him? That's the question.
Heel luchador. I don't think that's like ever really been done in WWE too. I think that'd be great.
Well, at least not. It hasn't been done well. I think it's. I don't know if it. Good question. I don't know if that's ever been done, but I'm sure it has. But not probably not.
I can't think of one.
Yeah,
Lewis is the historian. I don't know.
I can't think of one because the thing is, in the 21st century, luchadors. There's this weird thing that a luchador is always supposed to be a babyface.
Yeah.
Because of the superhero look. Yeah, right. You know what I mean? But Penta is the he would be the anomaly here.
Yeah. I would love to see him as a heel.
That'd be interesting. That would be interesting. But listen, man, fellas, this is episode 77 on the Mark Wrestling Podcast, giving you a little I guess some feedback on the Raw on Netflix and Dynamite on Max and the world of professional wrestling, y'all. Fellas, anything else? You guys got anything else, or we're good?
Shout out to the God Kenny Omega.
Kenny Omega
return
man.
Today.
Big return. He looked good. I can't wait to see him do some stuff in AEW. His match apparently in New Japan was
really good. I caught
really good. I caught some clips. Looked insane. Kenny's back. The one thing that's funny about Kenny he's not the talker. Like he's not the guy that will get in the ring and like, you feel inspired to like buy merch or certain things like that. Like he's just Kenny. Like he's an indie guy with a mic in his hand in front of hundreds of thousands of people, and he's just kind of just being himself, and he can't even project to be something different.
He just happens to be one of the best wrestlers ever.
He's a god, bro.
He goes by that. Yeah, and exactly. that legit is his legacy. Like he's not going to be the guy who you think like, oh, he was like Flair on the mic or Dusty. No, he's not going to be that. So shout out to Kenny though, but we love Kenny here on the show. But y'all listen, this is episode 77. Check us out. Keep watching, keep liking, keep joining the podcast as we bring you more and more content. Lewis, I'm gonna look out for that beer. I'm gonna see if I got some of that in this area, because I'm gonna do a legit review.
Please do.
And I'm gonna tag Hogan. I'm gonna tag him. and see if he actually if he calls me something other than my name through the. I got something for you, brother. I got something for you. But we'll see. We'll see. This is Keone from On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, joined by Joel and Lewis, y'all. Until next time.
Peace out, everybody.
You've been listening to the On the Mark Wrestling Podcast, a Scriptly adapted production. Follow us on Instagram and YouTube at On the Mark Wrestling, and email us at onthemarkpodcast@gmail.com.